On the 12th of December 1999, the executive governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was almost gunned down during the early hours of that day. See us in our focus. Anyway, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police said the attack against Tinubu was carried out around 3:30 a.m. He had just left the government house after having an important meeting with an important guest. It was during the Muslim fasting period of Ramadan. So he had to get home on time for the early morning prayers which must be taken before 5:30 a.m. Jagaban was jiggled to his bosom, his bowels, and in-depth core of his existence. With tremor in his voice, he also narrated how his convoy was attacked. 4 people were killed and 7 were arrested. The Deputy Commissioner of Police, Charles Akaya, also made pointing fingers at some group of people. After this incident, Tinubu appealed to the federal government to allow him to go ahead and train about 20,000 policemen. But Ebora Owu President Olusegun Obasanjo did not agree. But who could have wanted Tinubu dead? Anyway, he had a lot of enemies, so it would be hard pointing the right fingers.
Give me, Papa. Give me, Papa. Give me, Papa.
Okay. Don't narrate the story, or you'll end up in Kirikiri. Do you hear me? Yes, sir. Tell him, don't narrate the story, or you'll end up in Kirikiri. So, carry it.
But Ahmed, eba n gbaga yen wa, Uncle Wale ti ní pé kí n má sọ story yẹn, so ó better kí n kú sọ mi. Mi fẹ́ lọ sí Kirikiri. Ẹ ṣé jàre, ẹ bá ń gbé síbẹ̀ yẹn. We'll narrate that story later, but I want you to listen to this one. You see, before the era of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or any social media platform, there was one of the greatest journalists of all time. Although he was killed, and that also supposedly led to the death of his mother. Imagine a mother awaiting justice of her son even till her death, and she never got it. If you've read Popular Discourse by Chimamanda Adichie, you will see something similar to this story that I want to narrate. This particular journalist not said anybody. They always tell the evil politicians the truth even to their face, without sentiment, fearlessly seeking the truth and justice. Fearlessly seeking the truth and shed light on important stories. He goes to any length to uncover any information and shed light on important stories. He dedicates his craft and is willing to take risks in order to bring important stories to the public. His colleagues also describe him as a fearless warrior, fearlessly venturing into the unknown, brilliant and energetic. Till today, those responsible for his death are yet to be officially identified. And like I told you, it supposedly led to the death of his mother. Though we might not be able to couch it all, but you'll be able to get the synopsis more better, clearer, and understandable than ever. Today, you will gain a deeper knowledge of another history. The story of a legend, a hero. Although there are other conspiracy theories, but this particular man, na legend. I stumbled on one of his pictures in one of my grandfather's old newspaper. Goosebumps catch me. My hairline rise up, sending shivers into my body. Join me as I narrate this interesting story. He was born on the 16th of March 1947 into a family working in the palace of Oba Adesoji Aderemi, Ninu Afin Gongon. Attended local authority modern school in Lagelu, Ile-Ife. He also worked as a laundryman. Later, he traveled to Brooklyn College in 1977, enrolled for Fordham University. He also went to New York to work as a news assistant. He returned later to Nigeria and started working with the LA Times. He was working in Nigeria alongside with his fellow journalists Ray Ekpo, Dan Agbese, and Yakubu Mohammed. Founded Newswatch in 1984, and the first edition was distributed on the 28th of January 1985. The description on the magazine said, "Change the format of the print journalism in Nigeria." He married an American nurse in 1974. His second marriage lasted months, and he later married Olufunmilayo Olaniyan, on July 1984, which they married until his death. He was killed with a parcel of gun in his home in Ikeja while studying with his friend Kayode Soyinka on Sunday 19th of October 1986. 2 days before then, he had just been interviewed by the SSS. And that was after writing an article which he described the newly introduced second-tier foreign exchange market as God's experiment, and suggests that if it failed, the people will stone the leaders in the street. The deputy director of the agency later said that he found nothing offensive in his stated story. He had also been questioned over the phone about allegations that Dele is trying to import arms on the 13th of October 1986. He had also been accused of plotting with the Labour Congress, which is the NLC, and also asked to carry out a socialist revolution. Giwa told Momo that he feared for his life because of the weight of the accusations levied against him by the SSS.
Momo threw it away that
it's just a joke. That the security men just wanted to rattle with him. On Saturday, 18th of October, Giwa also spoke with Admiral Augustus, the chief of the general staff, who said he was also familiar with the matter and also promised him that he will look into the matter. And the chief of general staff promised him that he will look into the matter, that he should not really bother. It's not something that serious. Later on the 18th of October, a day before the bombing, a staff of DMI called the house of Giwa to ask that he needed direction to his house, that is coming from Kano to Lagos, and he needed directions to his house in order to just say hello and stop by. So on the morning of 19th of October, Giwa phoned Akilu to ask why he had been calling his house the previous day. Akilu was alleged to have explained that he only wanted to ask Giwa if the matter had been solved. Nothing more than that. Giwa then replied that he really needed not to be bothered because he had already informed Gani Fawemi for that already. About 40 minutes after the telephone conversation, a letter was delivered to Giwa's guard and he handed it over to his son Billy. Billy said the parcel had the seal of the Nigerian coat of arms, and he said this letter is from the presidency. The package exploded on Giwa's lap, mortally wounded him and deafening the ears of Soyinka, who had just excused himself to go and use the restroom before he opened the package. Giwa's last statement before his death was, they finally got me. Omembe explained that he had done what any competent investigator would have done in unraveling the circumstances surrounding the death of Dele Giwa. He went on to say that the toilet adjacent the blast suffered damage from the blast and it got scattered. But Soyinka's story sounded less convincing. He said if the strong steel could be blown, he requested to interview Agbese, Ray Ekpo and Soyinka, but only Agbese turned up. Soyinka later came out to tackle Omembe for spreading falsehood of his involvement in the crime, and asked that no one should ask him to narrate the experience again because he does not want to be thinking about it. When Ogunade was asked who delivered the bomb that killed Dele Giwa, he replied, "I believe Buba Marwa did that." He added he was killed because he had a tape that contained Vasma's testimony before the military tribunal. What about Gloria Okon? Some said Dele Giwa's discovery of her was the reason why he was assassinated. Actually, she was Chinyere. She married Charles Jeff Chandler, the fellow who killed Nzogu, and was also killed a day later. He added that Chinyere, who later became a widow, resulted into trading drugs between Nigeria and UK. Vasma was the one who put Chinyere on the next available flight to London, and later claimed that she was dead by bringing out a dead person from the mortuary. Dele Giwa later found out that she was in London, having delivered a baby to another man. He sent a French photographer to the place, and she saw Mariam Babangida at the event. Kayode Soyinka brought back the photographs. Those responsible for the death of Dele Giwa till today are yet to be officially identified, and it supposedly led to the death of his mother. Soyinka alleged that the package had the seal of the Nigerian president. However, there was no witness to also corroborate this. Some also accuse him of being the person behind this, because he might probably be the one that detonated the bomb with a remote control, because he was not really injured in the explosion. In 2001, General Ibrahim Babangida refused to testify before the National Human Rights Commission, went to the court and obtained an order restraining the Human Rights Commission from summoning them to appear. Just like I told you, till today, those responsible for the death of Giwa are yet to be officially identified.
Lifted up himself and took a look at the injury. It was really ugly, and he just turned to Ray and said, "Ray, they got me."